We get to start over. Fuck my life. All right, I know you can hear me now. I see it now. Look, what I was saying was it's a phenomenal weekend for motorsports, and it's starting right now at Eldora. $1 Million Dash, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm not going to be watching it. I'll look at the highlights. But Thursday Night Thunder returns tonight on ESPN, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Everybody's wondering, where's the bets? Where's the bets? Where's the bets? Bovada did reload bets after practice for SRX Thursday Night Thunder tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway. For some reason, they're gone now. I think a lot of people were betting on it, and I may have contributed to some pretty dramatic line movement. Right now, the only book that I know that has lines, which the lines you see on the bottom of your screen are courtesy of Bet365. It's not a book I have access to. Some people do, some people don't, but right now, it's the only book that has lines available for the SRX season opener tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway. Dramatic line movement after practice. Hailie Deegan was second quickest, and Ryan Newman was fastest. No surprise there for me. Ryan Newman was really strong in this series last year. Hailie Deegan, this is kind of in her wheelhouse. The two NASCAR races that she has won, one of them was on a track just like this. So confidence must be high. She also raced in SRX in 2022 as well. So not surprised to see her up there, but there has been dramatic line movement on her end, on the end of Ryan Newman. Ken Schrader has moved quite a bit. Bobby Labonte's had some line movement throughout the week. There's been a lot of line movement. Hopefully, and I'm going to keep refreshing it so we can maybe see it happen live, Caesars Sportsbook, who had lines throughout the week, has not refreshed and added lines post-practice. For the sake of most degenerate sports bettors, I'm hoping that SRX is reloaded on Caesars at some point before the green flag tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, only on ESPN. Welcome back to Dalescenter. I fucked up my intro by not having my mic on, but welcome to the heart of America, coming to you live to the newest edition of Dalescenter, and I'm your host, Dale Tanhart. We love Hooters on this program. Don't forget, promo code Garage Guys will save you $10 on any dine-in or carry-out order by using promo code Garage Guys. $30 plus dine-in or $30 plus carry-out order by using promo code Garage Guys at checkout on order.hooters.com or the Hooters app, and $10 off any $40 plus dine-in order just by telling your Hooters waitress about promo code Garage Guys. She will hook you up. Love Hooters. Love the Blazer. Probably going to take it back to the cleaners, pick up my other stuff tomorrow. I got all my racing jackets that have been sitting there throughout July 4th week. Got to grab those for the next race that I'll be going to. Don't know when it's going to be, but got to have them. Got to have them back in the closet, ready to go. But I'm ready to go for a fantastic motorsports weekend. IndyCar at Toronto, the Honda Toronto IndyCar. RotoDoc will be joining us here shortly to talk about bets that he likes for that race. And then you got Xfinity Series and the Cup Series at New Hampshire. And it's all kicked off with Thursday Night Thunder SRX tonight. So let me go ahead and tell you guys, I'll get right into it. You see the lines on the bottom of your screen through Bet365. Everything that I have bet is through Bovada. And I've got Ryan Newman, I've got Ken Schrader, Brad Keselowski, and Denny Hamlin. Those are my four guys tonight for the season opener. I got Denny Hamlin at 5-1. I got Ryan Newman at 6-1. I got Brad Keselowski at plus 750, 7.5-1, and Ken Schrader at 25-1. None of these lines are the same right now. If you look at Bet365, they have all moved. But those are my four guys. Denny Hamlin, when we talk about Denny, he's one of the best stock car racers on the planet and one of the best short track racers on the planet. I like Denny hopping into this car and winning in his first try, just like Chase Elliott did last year, or maybe it was the year before in 2021. Denny's a guy that can hop into anything and figure it out, and especially at a short track. Denny Hamlin, I think, is one of the guys to beat tonight. Not really worried about practice times too badly because it was his first time in the car. We've got heats to help get more track time before we get to the race, and then you get what? A mandatory caution, kind of how we do in NASCAR. I think they call it the fun flag. Did they do that last year? I'm trying to remember. I think they did, but you have opportunities to get restacked up if you don't qualify too well by finishing up front in your heat. So I like Denny Hamlin. I like Brad Keselowski. Same thing. Good short track racer. I think he's going to figure this car out really, really quickly. And when you look at a lot of other guys in the field, like Marco Andretti has had some track time and is the defending SRX champion. But Bobby Labonte, Clint Bowyer, Tony Stewart, I think there's definitely a rust factor that we got to recognize with a lot of these older guys compared to Brad Kay and Denny Hamlin, who are in, and even Ryan Newman, who's had a few NASCAR Cup Series starts this year. Haley Deegan. Ken Schrader has no rust. Ken Schrader might be 94 years old, but this motherfucker races constantly, non-stop. I love Ken Schrader. He's running full-time this year in SRX. If you want a big underdog play, Ken Schrader would be my guy, but I wouldn't bet on him now, unfortunately. The line movement's been crazy. Can't have any consistency. I'm going to refresh this one more time and see. But I got 25 to 1. I don't think you're going to be able to grab 25 to 1 anymore. I think you're looking at 16 to 1 or 12 to 1 for Kenny Schrader. I like him as a dark horse because he has no rust. He stays racing all the time. But for my favorites, I like Brad Kay, I like Denny Hamlin, and then I like Ryan Newman, which now, last time I looked, was a plus 400 favorite on Bovada or Bet365. So dramatic line movement there from the 8 to 1 that he opened at on Caesars Sportsbook earlier this week. Just keep your fingers crossed that Caesars gets lines back up before we hit the green flag tonight on ESPN. I'm going to say hey to the chat real quick. I know you guys were shitting on me because I had my mic off for God knows how long. 5 minutes. I don't know how long it was. But I don't know why Streamlabs wants to be Streamlabs, but it's on me. I should have realized. I'm about to sneeze. And it went away. Isn't that the worst? It's frustrating when you can't get a good sneeze out. But it was there. It was there. Should have happened. Lucas Vick, Eric, DM Punk said the loudest thing right now is the Hooters jacket. Yep. Appreciate it. DJ Bookie said, turn it down. Can't hear you. Or turn it down. You're too loud. Yeah, appreciate it. Chris, Dylan, Steve, Bryant, Mickey, appreciate you guys. Okay, according to Mickey, Caesars is back up. Now, I will say, in our Discord, I noticed there was some state-by-state differences. I do not see SRX on Caesars, and I'm logged in under Louisiana. I do not see... Mickey, let us know what state you're in, because that could be important. When we talk about state by state, a lot of times there's differences. And as of Louisiana, no lines at this moment. But yeah, you guys keep me updated on what keeps opening back up. You're not only helping me, but you're helping everybody by letting us know what it's going to look like on lines. Bryant said the same thing. Caesars back up. Caesars is back up. I'm going to just change my location here and just see. I just want to know what... Caesars in Iowa. All right, I'm going to click Iowa here. Yep, there it is. Caesars in Iowa. All right, right now, Denny Hamlin is a plus 325 favorite on here. Brad Kay has moved to plus 850. Ken Schrader is 18 to 1. I would bet that. I would bet Ken Schrader 18 to 1. I'd probably bet Schrader down to 12 to 1. That'd probably be the lowest I'd go on Schrader, but I'd rather get 16 to 1 or higher on Ken Schrader as an underdog bet. Brad Kay at plus 850, love that. Newman plus 400, that kind of stinks. Denny plus 325, kind of stinks. Okay, all right, well, we got lines somewhere at least, but Louisiana does not, so it doesn't matter to me anyway because I don't have time to get it in before the race starts. After Dalescenter, got to go drive. Matchups, Bobby Labonte versus Ryan Newman, Denny versus Tony, Brad Kay versus Harvick, Clint Bowyer versus Andretti. Ooh, I like that Andretti plus money over Bowyer. I'll go ahead and say that right there. Talk about rust. Marco Andretti has plenty of experience in this race car. Defending series champion. Clint Boyer's never driven it until today. I don't even know what Clint has been racing. I don't think Clint has been racing anything as of recent. He's been full retirement mode. I like that Marco Andretti plus money matchup. All right. Did Bet Rivers take away qualifying? I don't. So something has happened where Barstool and I think it's Canby. Canby is not like the primary home for Barstool anymore. Barstool has moved off, and their whole book has changed. A lot of people are complaining. I don't really know what to think, but yeah, I haven't seen qualifying, and I don't know what the deal is with Bet Rivers. Right? Same thing, maybe. I really don't know. I'm not sure, but remains to be seen if we get some qualifying on something other than Caesars and Bovada. Plus 600 for Denny. Love that. Love that. I got plus 500. I think we're sleeping on Denny Hamlin. Obviously, Caesars is not, but I think everybody else, when I look at chatter in our Discord and on Twitter, kind of looks like people are sleeping on Denny Hamlin tonight. So I like Denny there. I think Denny's going to be tough to beat. Not super worried about what we saw in practice. Give me Denny Hamlin for sure all day. So, one more time, my 4 bets. I'm not betting on anything else. My 4 guys are Denny, Ryan Newman, Ken Schrader, and Brad Keselowski. Those are my 4 bets to win Thursday night Thunder's return on ESPN for the SRX series at Stafford Motor Speedway. And I will have my unit allocations and top plays at the end of the show, so keep an eye on that. If you're hanging around, you'll see my units at the very end of the program. Is going to be leading right into the green flag at Stafford at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's move on, get into IndyCar here, because I want to get my guy, RotoDoc, who has been a good friend of the program all year long and has given some very good advice and bets for the IndyCar Series. We are at Toronto. You see the lines at the bottom of your screen, courtesy of Barstool Sportsbook. Working on getting him in here right now. Let's do this. Boom. But you look at the bottom of your screen, it's Alex Palou, a.k.a. Max Verstappen, IndyCar version, who is the favorite at plus 350. I was wondering, after his dominance, where he's going to be ranked on the sports books, right? Is he going to be a plus 200 favorite? Is he going to be plus 150? Plus 350 is like, okay, I can deal with that, right? I can deal with that. But Alex Palou plus 350 here. Ganassi was excellent here last year. Put 3 of their cars in the top 6. The race was won by Scott Dixon, who you can grab at plus 600. And then down the board, Newgarden, Pato, Kyle Kirkwood, Scott McLaughlin, and then everybody else. I have one play that I really, really like on Caesar Sportsbook, and that is a Marcus Ericsson top 5. As I just said, Ganassi put 3 of their drivers in the top 6 here last year. Marcus Ericsson finished 5th. He won the street course race at the beginning of the season down in St. Petersburg, Florida, and has had other great results since 2022 in the Ganassi number 8 car. And he's a guy who had a really bad week last time out when he was involved in an early crash at Mid-Ohio. He's a championship contender. He's in one of the best race cars. Marcus Ericsson needs a really, really good day, and I think he's going to provide that this weekend at Toronto. Give me a plus money Marcus Ericsson top 5. That's the only thing I have. You can grab that over on Caesar Sportsbook. And for everything else, I'm going to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, RotoDoc here in just a second. Boom. Make sure we're all good. There he is. We're putting on the headset to welcome good friend of the program. That is Mr. RotoDoc. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. RotoDoc, how we doing tonight? It's been a minute since you've been on. We've kind of been traveling on the road. I'm sure you've been doing some of the same. You've been giving some good IndyCar advice all year long. How we feeling? How we feeling about Toronto?
I'm excited for this one. I think this is a wide open race. We've seen Alex Palou dominate recently, winning the last 3 in a row. And he has a chance to become only the 5th driver since 1970 to win 4 in a row. But I'm not so sure if Toronto's going to be that place for him. He didn't even place in the top 5 last year. As you just mentioned with Marcus Ericsson, he was the Ganassi driver that did not place in the top 5 of the 3 of the top 6 that you said there. So he finished, I think, 6th place it was last year. And the street courses have been a little tougher than the road courses for him, particularly. So I think the streak breaks here. And because that's the case, I think we're going to see a lot of wide open potential for anybody to win this race.
All right, with that being said, honestly, kind of a bold thing to say that Alex Palou won't win when he's won 4 out of the last 5. But, I mean, I think nobody actually wants to bet on him, so I like to hear that. So tell us what we would like to bet on, what you have bet on or would like to bet on heading into the weekend.
Yeah, I took 3 outrights. The first I took when Caesars opened lines on Tuesday. Amazing. Caesars, thank you for opening lines on Tuesday. That was awesome. And so I took Romain Grosjean 16-1 there right away at Caesars. Now you can get him at 20-1. So I didn't get the best end of that, but I would definitely take Grosjean 20-1. Here's why. St. Pete, first race of the year, street course. Arguably could have won that race. He and Scott McLaughlin had contact there while battling for the lead coming out of the pits on the final pit stop sequence there. Long Beach finished 2nd, was actually catching my guy Kyle Kirkwood, but didn't have enough fuel. He had to kind of save fuel, so he didn't have enough to actually get around Kyle Kirkwood at Long Beach. Detroit, he had a solid race until a suspension part broke. And I know people will say the suspension didn't break. I promise you the suspension did break there before he hit the wall at Detroit. So these street courses so far this year for him and for Andretti as a whole have been very, very good. So I like Romain Grosjean 20-1 on a street course. Also like his top 5. You can get it still plus money. I think anything around plus 140, plus 150 is about the limit of where I would bet that. So really like Romain Grosjean to maybe have a bounce back after some, a string of poor results here, which is why his odds have inflated so much. So we want to take advantage of that because we know he has race winning potential on these street courses. 2 other drivers, it's just too hard to pass on Will Power at 14-1 and Alexander Rossi at 15-1. These are all numbers where I could see either Will Power or Alexander Rossi make it into the Firestone Fast 6 and they close in the weekend at like 8-1, 7-1, something like that. So both of these guys are pretty good here. Alexander Rossi has a pretty solid career here. No wins, but several top 3, top 5 finishes. And Will Power, multi-time winner at Toronto. So that's where I'm going if you want 2 other top 5 plays. Graham Rahal. Team Rahal last year. Rahal Lanigan Racing had a very strong year. Rahal and Lundgaard, for example, both placed inside the top 10. And they just are coming off another strong race at Mid-Ohio here. So definitely like Graham Rahal. And it's always Marcus Armstrong season for me, getting the Marcuses confused. I will always take a Ganassi car for a top 5 at 6-1 on a road course. Always.
And where is that 6-1 line at for Arms? Is that on Caesars?
I believe that is at Caesars. Yeah, let me scroll over here, and it should be at Caesars. Armstrong, not Ericsson, Armstrong. Although I like your Marcus Ericsson pick too.
Yeah,
6-1 for a top 5.
Armstrong's interesting. He's that kid that every now and then pops into that 11 car, and everybody forgets that's a Ganassi car. So I do like that pick. What else you got? Are you looking at a favorite? Or is there another underdog play, or is there anybody? Because the chat is all talking about Scott Dixon. Dixon is Dixon land. I mean, where are we at with? We've been talking about Ganassi. Where are we at with Scott Dixon here?
Here's the thing. It is Dixon land, except the issue is, when was the last time Dixon won? It was this race last year. And yes, I know he finished 2nd in 2019 at Toronto, finished 1st 2018 Toronto. But Dixon, I should say the second to last time he won was Toronto. He did win Nashville last year too. So he is really good at these street courses. But so is all of Andretti. I mean, look at Colton Herta, look at Kyle Kirkwood, look at Romain Grosjean, what they've done on the street courses this year. Look at Marcus Ericsson, how he was closing on Romain Grosjean, who was closing on Kyle Kirkwood. And Marcus Ericsson's a street course winner for Ganassi. Alex Palou won at the streets of Detroit, right? So there's no way for me to say that, Scott Dixon should just run away with this or be clearly the second favorite behind Alex Palou. This series has so much parity right now. I'm just looking to take longer numbers and hope I get them shorter as some of them qualify inside the Firestone Fast 6. And then my plan is, let's look at the strategies. Who's starting on the primaries? Who's starting on the alternates? And very often I'll look to take 1 or 2 of the top drivers starting on primaries and 1 or 2 of the top drivers starting on alternates after practice and qualifying. So that's where I think maybe we can find some Scott Dixon value. Maybe he qualifies 4th and is the first driver to start on a different strategy, I would love to grab him at 7-1, knowing that maybe then 6-1 right now ahead of practice qualifying.
All right. I love to hear it. Love to see it. It's going to be a fun weekend in Toronto. Where can we find you to find that game plan once we get to practice and qualifying for maybe some more bets?
Yeah, at RotoDoc on Twitter, at RotoDoc, or I don't know if it's on Threads. For those of you who are joining me there, we'll be threading
Threads.
This weekend.
Yeah, shit.
And, of course, on the Action Network, I will have NASCAR article this weekend. I'll probably have an IndyCar article this weekend because I think it's going to be a really good race to bet with all of the value that I see already early in the week. I seriously think we can get like 4 or 5 drivers at over 10-1. As long as one of them wins, it's a nice profitable day for like race winning contenders. So that'll be interesting. And in the Action Network app at Nick_Giffen.
Love to hear it. Hey, thanks for coming back again, and good luck. I'll be watching out for more picks, and I think the community will as well. Let's have a hell of a weekend. IndyCar Toronto, we appreciate you, RotoDoc.
Absolutely appreciate y'all, and dude, I'm so looking forward to this SRX race tonight.
Yes, me too. It's going to be fun, man. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. We'll see you.
There he is, RotoDoc, always giving good IndyCar advice here on Dalescenter. Keep an eye out this weekend as lines change, as we see some speed, we see some track time and speed from, or lack thereof. Hopefully we see the picks he gave show some speed, and now you feel good about what you got. But yeah, it's hard for me. I look at the Scott Dixon number. It's hard for me not to bet it, but let's see. I think I'm willing to wait. I've got some good change on the Ericsson play to get me into the weekend before we see some track time. Now you see on the bottom of your screen Xfinity Series lines for the Ambetter Health 200 at New Hampshire, courtesy of Barstool Sportsbook. John Hunter Nemechek ruined my life last week, and he's a plus 250 favorite. I will not touch that. That is insanely short. I will not do it. No matter what. We're going to wait on Nemechek. But the books have recognized that Toyota's good here. John Hunter Nemechek has been good on the flat tracks in 2023. But I got my eye on a different Toyota. His teammate, Mr. Sammy Smith. We talk about Sammy Smith. He won at Phoenix, his first career race, and only like his 9th or 10th start, and only the 3rd or 4th race of 2023. Went to Martinsville and finished 2nd. And at Richmond, probably had a car that could have beat John Hunter Nemechek and Chandler Smith if his crew chief didn't do the worst strategy in the history of strategy that I've ever seen at Richmond, where they stayed out on old tires, got lapped, and never recovered. But when you look at short, flat tracks in 2023, Sammy Smith has had an excellent race car on all of them. And that's not just him. That's also John Hunter Nemechek as well. The 19 car has been good as well, but we have Joe Graff in the number 19. Probably not going to go in that direction. You can grab it around 100-1 for a Joe Gibbs car. You might see some value there, but don't trust Joe Graff in this spot to put my money on. But Sammy Smith, plus 750 over on Barstool Sportsbook, I think is a great bet. You might see something else from him in the top plays later in the program. Other than that, I think Brandon Jones, 30-1. BetMGM has 35-1. We're waiting and waiting and waiting. When is Brandon Jones going to do anything in this motherfucking number 9 car, man? When is Brandon Jones going to make something happen? He's in, we know, one of the best cars in the series, and it could not get any worse for Brandon Jones. But we know he's going to sneak up and win one of these races that we're not expecting. I think we know this is going to happen because even when he was with Gibbs, he would kind of win at a track that wouldn't really expect him to. So Brandon Jones, 35-1 could be in the cards. I'm not talking about Sheldon Creed. He is 30-1 over on BetMGM, though. Keep an eye on that. And then Austin Dillon. Everybody wants to know, what's Austin Dillon going to do? It's been a tough year in the Cup Series in 2023, but this number 10 car we know as the All-Star car in the Xfinity Series for Colleague Racing has been pretty good. It's been pretty fast. Does Austin Dillon come out here? You're looking at 12-1, 14-1 on most sports books. Is Austin Dillon a guy that's going to come out here and dethrone the Toyotas here at New Hampshire? I don't know yet. I think I want to see some track time. We know Austin Dillon has not – it really doesn't matter what he's in. he's not the best qualifying guy. He really isn't. I think you're going to see John Hunter, Sammy Smith up front. Justin Allgaier is probably going to qualify well. Chandler Smith has been great at qualifying in 2023. I'd expect Austin Dillon to remain around the 10-1 to 14-1 line before we get to Saturday, before we get to green flag at least. So I'm going to wait on Austin Dillon. I'm going to wait on Sheldon Creed. And I'm going to think about Brandon Jones at 35-1. But if there's anything I'm pulling the trigger on before we get to Saturday, it's Sammy Smith. And I'll show you later in the program in Top Plays the one bet that I like when it comes to Sammy Smith. Hammer time play might be the number one play on the program. You're going to have to wait around to see. But that's really all I got for Xfinity, man. It's tough when you see a guy like Nemechek at plus 250. Cole Custer up at the plus 650 range, I think, could be a good bet. Could be a guy that comes out here and wins. And then you got Junior Motorsports kind of all over the place with Allgaier, who won this race last year. Josh Berry plus 550. Sam Mayer. I'm usually on Sam Mayer, but I don't know if I feel it this weekend. Was not great here last year. Sam Mayer might be able to wait, along with all the Junior Motorsports guys, except for Brandon Jones. Keep an eye on Brandon Jones. 35-1 on BetMGM could be a play. But I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Chris says John Hunter Nemechek and MFT. MFT. Who is MFT? Am I drawing a blank on this acronym here? MFT. John 1672 has Nemechek Xfinity and Truex Cup parlay. Don't hate that. I don't hate that. You know, Truex, look, we know Truex is due, right? To win at this racetrack in particular. Has been amazing here throughout the years and somehow has not won. And he had the best car here last year. And then once he got into traffic, 2-tire stop ruined his race and he was unable to get back to the front. We know it's going to be hard to pass. It's the fantastic short track package that we've seen really put on a show in 2023. And it's the wet weather package as well. So I like a Truex Nemechek parlay, but I think that's the only way I'm betting on John Hunter Nemechek is if I parlay it with something on the Cup side or the IndyCar side. But yeah, Xfinity's kind of bleh until we get there. So we're going to move on into the NASCAR Cup Series Crayon 301 at New Hampshire. Pray to somebody. You know, I don't know if anybody in here is religious. If you are, if you're not, send a prayer to something to keep the fucking rain out of New Hampshire. You know, if you follow the content, you know how upset and annoyed I was last week at Atlanta. I don't want to talk about it. Let's send good vibes only. You know, maybe Darrell Waltrip Vortex Theory comes back into play. No rain this weekend. Please, God, for New Hampshire, the Crayon 301. Odds on the bottom of your screen, always courtesy of Barstool Sportsbook. Chris Bell's had some interesting line movement this weekend. We talk about how amazing he's been here. I don't even know why I have this on anymore. I don't want to hear it. Chris Bell's been phenomenal at New Hampshire. He's got like 33 top 2 finishes and 34 starts. That's a heavy exaggeration, but you get the deal. He's been virtually unstoppable here in any race car he's hopped in at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and he is the defending winner of this race. He ran second in 2021. Multiple Xfinity and truck wins here at the lower levels. He fell real quickly to plus 475 on Caesars, and then right back up. Now we're looking at 6-1 once again over on Barstool Sportsbook. I'm going to wait on this. I think this racetrack, because we only come here once a year, I think it's a more wide open race, right? I think it actually, you know, other than Chevy, right? Like Chevy has not been good here. Chevy has been the one manufacturer, particularly with Hendrick Motorsports, that has done absolutely nothing at New Hampshire since Jimmy Johnson won here in 2010. That is the last Hendrick Motorsports win at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Chase Elliott came here and finished second last year. That is a glimmer of hope. But when you look across the board over the past decade, Hendrick Motorsports has been all over the place at New Hampshire. And this is a track that's been dominated in that same time frame by Stewart-Haas Racing with Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski at Penske, who's now with RFK, obviously, and then Joe Gibbs Racing as well. So I think I'm going to wait on anything Chevy related. The only thing that's caught my eye is Kyle Larson. I talked about it on the Garage Guys NASCAR pod. Kyle Larson sitting at 9-1 when he has been spectacular on short, flat racetracks in 2023. Definitely has my eye. He won North Wilkesboro. He won Richmond. He won Martinsville. Kyle Larson definitely is the one Chevy I would bet pre-practice, pre-qualifying to win the race. Now, I think there's other opportunities out there with Chevy. Because of what I just said, you look at all the stats, Chevy has been all over the place at this racetrack over the years. Take some underdogs to be the top Chevy this weekend. Hendrick Motorsports might come out here and just be fucking terrible, right? Take some underdog guys to be top Chevy. Take an Alex Bowman. Maybe take a Ricky Stenhouse at 100-1. A guy that's been very consistent throughout 2023. He's had some good runs. He's had some decent runs at the short, flat racetracks as well. Tracks that he has not been good at throughout most of his career. Maybe play a flyer on a top Chevy outside of these heavy favorites. Chase Elliott, William Byron, Kyle Busch. Talking about Kyle Busch. On this particular package, Kyle Busch has not been good. Remember, Gateway at St. Louis, they ran a different package than what we ran at Richmond, Martinsville, and this weekend at New Hampshire. Kyle Busch in those races has not been great. RCR has not brought great race cars for him at those particular races. He's one of the favorites to be a top Chevy. He's one of the co-favorites sitting at plus 1,000 to win this race. I would fade Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch is a fade play this weekend. I sincerely think that. Keep an eye on the Stewart-Haas guys. Keep an eye on the RFK. Well, I'm not big on Buescher. This has not been a good Buescher track in his career, but I love Brad Keselowski this weekend as an early lean when we talk about guys outside of Chevy and Hendrick Motorsports. Toyota's obviously the favorites with Bell, Truex, Hamlin. I think I'm willing to wait because I don't see those guys shrinking below 6-1, below 5-1 after practice and qualifying. Just don't see it happening. So Cup is interesting, guys. I don't know what I want to do. The only thing I've locked in on Cup at this particular moment is Briscoe 100-1, which I grabbed over on Caesars. A couple books had 150-1, 125-1. Talking about Stewart-Haas Racing, man. Stewart-Haas Racing has excelled at this racetrack with several different drivers. I mean, fuck, Cole Custer, who, is now back in the Xfinity Series. Even he had 2 top 15 finishes and 3 starts. Eric Almirola won here in 2021. Kevin Harvick has been great here. 3 straight finishes of 6th or better. 2 of those top 5s. He's won a few races with Stewart-Haas Racing here as well. I like SHR. And then when you add in what they've been able to do on the shorter, flatter racetracks in 2023, a.k.a. similar racetracks to New Hampshire, they have been much better than they've been on the 1.5 miles, a.k.a. giving Briscoe a fucking lawnmower every single 1.5 miles where he's running 33rd within 20 laps. It's insane. Looking at Chase Briscoe, the one bet that I have locked in, 12th at Richmond, 4th at Martinsville, 7th at Phoenix, 4th at North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. Talk about a sample size of 4 racetracks that you can say are similar to New Hampshire. He's finished 12th or better in all of those races. I will gladly pay 100-1 for Chase Briscoe. Barstool now has him at 80-1. But when you look at him, you look at Ryan Preece, who's also been pretty good. Same kind of racetracks. Martinsville, if Preece doesn't speed on pit road, Preece might win that race. He led 140 laps, couldn't pass. I expect New Hampshire to be similar in a sense of you're not going to be able to fucking pass. I don't think it'll be as bad as Martinsville, but it's going to be difficult for guys to move through the field. And Stewart-Haas Racing not only has raced well at this configuration or similar track style, they have qualified well at this similar track style. Preece was on the pole in the spring, right? So I would consider a couple underdog plays on some SHR guys. Eric Almirola, you can get at 25-1, 30-1 on a couple books. The guy has been great here with Stewart-Haas Racing dating back to 2018, including his 2021 win. Last year, I think he had an engine issue early in the race and never even had a shot. But Eric Almirola, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Preece, love them as early underdog plays leading into the weekend. But I want to know what you guys think. Remember, get the parlays ready. Parlay segment is coming. We lost about 600 fucking parlays at Atlanta last week. I don't want to lose like that again. We got to hit a parlay. I'm counting on you guys to give me a good Triple Crown parlay to go with my patented Tan Heart Triple Crown. That might include some IndyCar, might include some Xfinity, and might include some Cup. We'll see. Give me something good. Get those ready. Get them cooking. But for now, let's head over to Chase for the Cup with Garage Guy Chase.
Hello and welcome to the newest edition of Chase for the Cup. I'm Chase Holden, your host of Chase for the Cup. This week, NASCAR Cup Series drivers are chasing lobsters, though there is a lobster that will be won here at this track, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and I have some Cup bets that I need to talk with you about. Once again, as a reminder, I'm not betting on practice and qualifying, but I do have a tip for you this week. I do have a tip, so be advised. Let's get this thing started. There's not a lot to say. There's not that many bets yet. I am going to be waiting to see what happens in practice and qualifying before moving forward. I also am hearing that rain could possibly threaten this in the area. Great news for sea urchins and other types of sea animals such as lobsters. Bad news for race fans, but hopefully it won't rain. It just seems like New Hampshire Motor Speedway should be in Maine, and it rains a lot there. Very foggy, very misty town. The outrights that I have to give are 3 as of now. That's right. I have 3 guys that I'm going to talk about. 2 of these guys have already been discussed on the Garage Guys NASCAR podcast with me and Dale, and you've probably heard them if you listen to the show. The first one, Chase Briscoe. He was 100-1 to open the week on Caesars. Now listen, he's had a terrible year. I get it, all right? It sucks, but it's very worth it. If you were able to grab him at 100-1, I think he's now somewhere around 60-1 to win this race. People listen, people caught on. That's what happens. You got to be quick to the pot if you want to get the good boil. That was another reference to lobster boiling. But, you know, even at 60-1, I still think it could be worth it. SHR showed us what they could do at Martinsville, which is a flat track. I know that Martinsville is a lot different than New Hampshire, and there's some other racetracks that you can incorporate this in. So we'll see what happens. It's just kind of one of those bets for me. Let's see what happens. Let's see what transpires. Little bits, low risk, high reward. Chase Briscoe. Next one I have is Kyle Larson. Got him at 8-1 on FanDuel. You can get him right there now at 8-1 on FanDuel. And the reason I like Larson is the same reason a lot of people like Kyle Larson, because he is the best well-rounded race car driver in the world right now, and that is the truth. And now that the super speedway that got rained out is behind us, we're getting back into some of our normal style of racing, and I think that this is where Kyle Larson can come out and shine brightest. Getting him at 8-1 is kind of a tough feat, and so if you can grab him around that area right now, I'd say go for it. Better safe than sorry. And my last outright that I have to give you is a guy that I personally believe in, a guy that showed us that he knows how to get things done at this track. He did well in qualifying last year. He finished the race well inside of the top 5, and that is Bubba Wallace. You can get him right now at 30-1 on Barstool Sportsbook. The reason I like Bubba is because he came up being a short track dude. All right, he's got this car with 2311. They have a partnership with Joe Gibbs Racing. Joe Gibbs Racing, very good at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So look at what we saw here last year. Do a little bit of research, watch some film, watch some footage, and tell me if you think it's a bad bet. That's all I'm saying. And that perfectly sets us up to move into some Dalescenter exclusives. So now that I don't do practice and qualifying on the Dalescenter exclusives, I will be giving you one top 5 and one top 10 bet that I currently have that I have not logged as of yet. To start it off, we're going to roll right back off of what I said about Bubba Wallace. Top 5, Bubba Wallace, 4-1. I got that over on Caesars. This is just the safety security net. Also, you can get paid money if he does win and gets the top 5. I like that. All right, he got a top 5 before. Why can't he do it again? He's ready to rock and roll. I don't know if he's in the DraftKings card just yet, but if he is, that's great. I'm divorced from them. but I don't think that's going to matter. It's on the inside, which what counts, and inside of that car will be Bubba Wallace driving, and I like that. Top 5, Bubba Wallace, 4-1, Caesars. And the big one, a top 10 bet that I did a little bit of research on that I looked at and I feel good about. It could go either way, just like any bet, so chill out. Michael McDowell, 8-1 for a top 10 on Caesars. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab my mouse here because I know you're probably just like, McCheese Dick, really, that guy? I don't like calling him McCheese Dick. I like calling him Judas because that's what he is. He's sad. He's not the star Christian of the sport anymore. According to Kip Richards, didn't say that. That was Kip Richards on the Garage Guys report that said that. But I got to do a little bit of homework, and I looked at some tracks that are comparable to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, such as like a Phoenix or Worldwide Technology Raceway. And what did I find? This year in Phoenix, he finished 13th. If you look at his record at Gateway, he finished 9th there this year. That's some flat tracks, okay? So, yeah, don't get me wrong. He might suck at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Maybe his stats aren't the best, and I'm going to get those pulled up for us right now while I'm talking about it. He's got one top 20 finish here in a while. He finished 28th here last year, and that's in this new car. It's only really one time to really see what's going down, you know? So, hey, who knows? I like this bet, and that's what counts here. I do think if we get good pit stops out of Mike Mack, we can get us a high, rewarding top 10 bet that is literally the same as an outright bet, okay? And that's what we shoot for. We shoot for the stars on this program, and that's what we're going for. I've touched stars. You've touched them with me. Just go with it. Michael McDowell, plus 800. Over on Caesars for a top 10. And that is my bets thus far. Make sure you follow me on Action Network to get the whole card before Sunday. Don't miss the action on playback.tv/GarageGuys. And that's all I got from you today. Eat a lobster. Do it for yourself. Do it for America. And do it for me. This has been Chase for the Cup. I'm Chase Holden. Goodbye.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is Garage Guy Chase with his newest edition of Chase for the Cup. All right, it's time for parlays. I know, look, some of us are watching Eldora. Might be a little loud there. Some people are watching Eldora. Apparently, it's fucking chaos. I was just on Twitter trying to look up some highlights, see what wrecks just occurred. Apparently, everybody's going balls to the wall. But you see the Tan Heart Triple Crown on the bottom of your screen, courtesy of Caesars Sportsbook. It is a Sammy Smith top 5, it is a Marcus Ericsson top 5, and it is a Brad Keselowski top 5. A $100 bet on this parlay would net just short of $1,800. Really feel fucking good about this one. Do I say that every week? Yes, I do. I am 2 for 19 on parlays. Well, did we do one in Daytona? No, we did not. I did not do one in Daytona. Did I do one for the Clash? No. Yeah, 2 for 18 in North Wilkesboro. Didn't do one for that either. I think I'm 2 for 17 or 2 for 18 on parlays in 2023. Because of Atlanta, we were positive. We have gone into the negative side because we went all out on parlays for Atlanta. The Triple Crown died when that caution came out in the Xfinity Series race. So that was cool. But it actually would have been worse because I think the parlay I had a parlay that was a Kligerman top 5, an Eckes top 5, and a Brad K top 5. If Kligerman had gotten that top 5, and then Brad K, considering what he went through at Atlanta to be the best guy all night, and then get screwed by the rain and come back only to finish 6th, that would have been a heartbreaker. So I'm kind of, in some ways, you got to look at it and be a little positive about what happened in that Xfinity race, even though it killed the majority of our bets with that late caution. Thanks, Austin Hill. We appreciate you. And thanks to Chandler Smith for running out of gas. And thanks to NASCAR for patrolling everybody in a parade for an extra 8 hours to run everybody out of gas. Thank you. You killed my bets. But we've moved on. All right, we've moved on. We're not talking about Atlanta anymore. You see the parlay on the bottom of your screen. I want to see your favorite parlays ahead of the weekend. It doesn't even have to be a 3-legger, okay? It can be a double-legger. It can be 3 matchups from the Cup Series race. It could be 3 matchups from the IndyCar race or the Xfinity Series race. Remember, I pick the best parlay and bring it up on the show and introduce it into the weekend as the Dalescenter Community Parlay. And if you win, if your parlay hits, you will have the parlay segment named after you for the duration of 2023. We've already lost 6 months to have your name labeled in the parlay. We've already lost all this time. We're halfway through the season, and not a single one of you guys has hit a community parlay. I mean, at least I've hit 2, right? Parlays are tough. I'm not going to act like they're easy. But I need you guys to come through. We got to hit one of these. We got to hit one. So while you guys are getting your parlays ready, the Wall of Dale has taken quite a break as we've been back and forth on the road. We did a complete reset. We didn't want to hurt the juju of, our bad luck in betting. We finally had a good weekend. I cleared a little over 5.5 units at Atlanta last weekend. Thanks to Corey Heim and thanks to my stage bets and JJ motherfucking Yaley, top 10, 21-1, saved the night at Atlanta. But it's time to get into what drivers I like and what drivers I don't like. If you're new to the program, we released Martin Truex from prison after his win at Sonoma. The new guy in prison is no other than Daniel Hemrick. After he fell from 2nd to 8th in 2 laps at Nashville, when I had him for a top 3 and a top 5, it wasn't even a decision for me. He put himself in prison. So Daniel Hemrick belongs there. I don't even feel bad that he didn't get the push from Justin Haley to win the Atlanta race. I kind of feel like he deserves it. I don't know. Don't hate me. So first of all, we're going to stick with that Colleague fleet for my first guy to go up on the good side of the wall, right behind me. I think this guy could be doing it for Dale this weekend. And the more I look, the more I want to bet him before we get to qualifying because he's been excellent at qualifying in the Xfinity Series in 2023. And that is Chandler Smith, another guy who has also been pretty good at shorter, flatter tracks throughout 2023. Of course, won at Richmond, in April? Beat out John Hunter Nemechek to get that win. So I like Chandler Smith. I do like Chandler Smith. He's been good almost everywhere. I mean, has really, really surpassed my expectations for what he was going to do in this series. He's been great at qualifying. Give me Chandler Smith before we get into the weekend. And if you're new to the program, just a reminder, to everybody, including people who are here every single week. And like I said, it's been a minute since we've done the Wall of Dale. Ross Chastain stays in the category of if Dale Earnhardt and Brad Keselowski had a baby. And then Austin Cindric is permanently dead to Dale. I tried to take him off, and it did not go well. He had to go back up. So Austin Cindric, permanently dead to Dale. Daniel Hemrick in Dalescenter prison. And Ross Chastain is if Brad Keselowski and Dale Earnhardt Sr. had a baby. Moving on. A guy that I feel like I'm going to end up betting on this week, but I am willing to wait because I don't think his odds are going to fall that dramatically after practice and qualifying. I'm going to go with Christopher Bell. He is truly the god of New Hampshire, and that's all that needs to be said. And I have bet on him in this race 2 years in a row. One was heartbreaking, and then one was profitable. Another guy I talked about him. He's the only bet I've locked in heading into this weekend. After the SRX race tonight will be the time that I'm going to go lock in a few more. But I'm on Chase Briscoe 100-1. Garage Guy Chase is on Chase Briscoe 100-1. Greg Mathern is on Chase Briscoe. He got 150-1. He got it on a book that I don't have access to. But nonetheless, the entire Garage fam is on Chase Briscoe. And for good reason. If you don't know why, rewind the program and listen to my stats that I gave out on Chase Briscoe. I also gave them out on the Garage Guys NASCAR podcast as well. So Chase Briscoe, I think, is a good sleeper play. And I still think I would bet a sprinkle on Briscoe at 80-1. Remember, while I am setting up the wall of Dale, get your parlays in. Get your parlays in. I'm only going to pick one to be the Dalescenter Community Parlay of the weekend. So be working on your parlays, and we're going to take the favorite one. Oh, wait, I forgot. We did a poll last week. Didn't we do a poll last week? Yes, we did. I'm going to do a vote for my favorite 2 parlays. My favorite 2 parlays will be put in a vote, and then we're going to vote for the best one, and then that's what we're going to ride together. But moving on here, I talked about a theme of Chevy been all over the place here over the past decade, right? Last time Hendrick Motorsports won was in 2010. Chase Elliott ran second last year, but when you look at the top Chevy category, the top Chevy manufacturer bet over on Caesar Sportsbook, I think this is a good opportunity to take an underdog Chevy because of how sporadic their program has been at this racetrack. And I think that starts with Alex Bowman. His results here, not good. Not good at all. But I'm willing to take a risk on a Hendrick Motorsports guy that the books, as I mentioned in the Garage Guys Discord earlier this week, it's like the books have given up on Alex Bowman. It's like the books just don't think he has it at any type of racetrack we go to. And he is a guy that needs to win to get in the playoffs. He is a guy that struggled at New Hampshire. But if you're going to give me a Hendrick guy for top Chevy at 14-1 at a track where the top Chevy is a wide open bet, in my opinion, I'm going to take Alex Bowman. I'm going to take a Hendrick guy at 14-1 for top Chevy. That's probably going to be something I lock in tonight or tomorrow. And I there's some good energy around Alex Bowman in the Garage Guys Discord. I see a lot of people betting on him. Not just for top Chevy, which I don't think anybody's mentioned that, but outright at 40-1 over on BetMGM. 45-1, I think, is where that line opened over on BetMGM. Or you can take the top 10 at plus money as well. So there is a lot of Alex Bowman energy in the Garage Guys Discord. So I like Bowman for something where you don't have to pay a lot. So give me Alex Bowman. I think there's a good chance he could be doing it for Dale this weekend. All right, I got 2 more guys here. 2 more guys for the good side of the wall of Dale. Talked about both of them already. Let's go with the hometown hero, Ryan Preece. Remember, I talked about him early in the program as well when I was talking about Chase Briscoe. There is a bet involving both of them that you'll see on Top Plays at the end of the program here shortly. But I love Ryan Preece. I love what he did at Martinsville. I love SHR's program, their performance on similar style racetracks. I like Ryan Preece as a guy that could be potentially doing it for Dale on Sunday. Remember, get your parlays in. Get your parlays. Get your motherfucking parlays in. Last guy on the good side of the wall of Dale heading into New Hampshire weekend, Brad Keselowski might win this race. You know, I think it's rare that I'm on Brad 2 weeks in a row from an outright perspective, but I think this is going to be a weekend where I will take that outright because Ford with SHR, good at this racetrack, good at this similar racetracks in 2023. Brad K has also been pretty good at this type of racetrack throughout his entire career, but also when RFK started, they sucked everywhere, it seemed like, except the super speedways. Brad K came to this track last year and finished 7th, which may have been one of his best runs of 2022 before we got, into the playoff or close to the playoffs towards the end of 2022. 2023 has been a much different year, and Brad K and RFK have mightily improved compared to where they were at this time last year. Should have won Atlanta last week, should have won Dega, and he's had some good cars at other racetracks, some intermediates, some short tracks. I like Brad Keselowski. He's getting some more, maybe he comes out to SRX, wins this motherfucker tonight in about an hour and a half, and inspires a little bit more confidence into a team and into a program that has been very consistent in 2023. I like Brad K as another guy that could be doing it for Dale by the end of this weekend. All right, I got two guys that I think are the fade bets of the week. Two guys that I'm going to be fading hard. Am I out of thumbtacks? Nope. And I mentioned both of these guys at some point. I'm going to fade Mr. Kyle Busch this week. It seems like these guys have found a way to run well just about everywhere. But if there is a weakness, it's been on track types similar to what we're going to see this weekend with this particular package. So I'm going to fade Kyle Busch. If you see some matchups, like there's one matchup, I think it's on Caesars. It may be on other books too. It's William Byron versus Kyle Busch. Give me William Byron in that matchup all day. I know Chevy's been inconsistent, but William Byron, similar to Kyle Larson, has been really good on the shorter, flatter racetracks in 2023. And he's one guy I hadn't talked about. But he won Phoenix. He was good at Richmond. That's where he got the big penalty. I can't remember what he did at Martinsville. I don't know if he was a contender or not at Martinsville. I don't think he was. But when you look at this package, this short track package, William Byron has been better than Kyle Busch, and they're both minus 115. I think Kyle Busch is a fade play this weekend, so I'm going to put him up there with my mortal nemesis, Austin Cindric. I think he's going to be dead to Dale. Potentially a dead to Dale guy. And then my other fade bet of the weekend, another guy that's had a pretty good season. He's sitting inside the playoff bubble, but man, he has sucked at New Hampshire his entire career. He probably would say the same thing, and that is Chris Buescher. While I like Brad Keselowski, I like some of these Ford guys at SHR, Chris Buescher, I don't even think has ever run in the top 15 here. Maybe once. Chris Buescher's resume at New Hampshire has been very, very, very mediocre. Not good at all. I think Chris Buescher is a fade play. If you see a head-to-head matchup, maybe your offshore will have something against Chris Buescher. I'd probably take the opposite of old Christopher. So Chris Buescher, going to be dead to Dale this weekend. And finally, as I see more parlays coming in, need more parlays, guys. Give me your favorite parlays. We're going to pick one. Sports Guide of the Week is not BJ McLeod. It is a new face. While we did have a good betting Sunday and tragedy strike with Blaney, Brad K, and Austin Cindric, who I think were three of the best five guys all night, none of those guys won. They were my bets. Stage bets went well. But this guy ultimately saved the day with a top 10. His best finish in like 400 years. Mr. J.J. Yaley. J.J. motherfucking Yaley. There's one person that believed in him in a top 10. 21-1. And you're looking at him. And you're looking at the new Sports Guide of the Week. I need some claps in the chat for Mr. J.J. Yaley, former 2009 Formula One champion. And the 15 car, J.J. Yaley. Mr. J.J. Yaley looks good up there, Sports Guide of the Week. And there you have it. Wall of Dale is back for the first time in like 8 years, and that's what it's going to look like for this weekend. I feel really good about it. I feel good about the good guys doing good things, the bad guys doing bad things, and J.J. fucking Yaley being the Sports Guide of the Week. That is what he is. And now we move into the parlay segment. I don't see a lot of parlays. I would like a few more. Because I'd like to do a poll, right? I would like to do a poll. The two parlays I like the most, I'll put them head-to-head against each other, and then we're going to pick one. What time are we at right now? Okay, we still got about 30 minutes before SRX starts. Perfect. We haven't gone crazy on this program. But I need some parlays. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading them, and I'm going to hope that we see a few more. Son of Smoke has Hamlin SRX win Allgaier top 5, Larson top 5, Max Netflix Staffen to win. A little over 15-1 over on Caesar Sportsbooks. We're calling it the Smokes 4 for 4. Damn, I like that. You know, I'm scared to bet Denny. You know, I've already got probably too much on Denny Hamlin tonight. So I'm a little scared to add him in. But I like Allgaier top 5. I don't know about Larson top 5, but we'll see. I mean, we know Max is Max, and it's Netflix. It's not really a motorsport. It's just Netflix racing. Drive to Survive. The Netflix subscribers, same guy wins every week. So we know that's probably going to happen. But I don't know. I like the ambition, though. The Smokes 4 for 4. That just sounds really fucking cool. S. Brady has Ricky Stenhouse top 10. Sammy Smiz top 5 at Caesar Sportsbook. Just a hair under 16 to 1. Like it. Kind of ballsy with the Ricky. Which, look, I talk about Ricky in the program, man. These guys have been good at racetracks that they usually are not good at. And that's because they got the win under their belt. Daytona 500 champs. They've got confidence. And they've also got courage to try new things. Be aggressive with setups. Be aggressive with strategy. So I don't hate a Ricky Stenhouse top 10. I'm probably going to bet Ricky Stenhouse top Chevy 100 to 1. I mean, who knows what could happen, right? Maybe we get one of these races where you're going to have a big green flag pit stop that's going to decide it, and someone like Ricky Stenhouse might be running 14th, and he's going to stay out. He's going to do the opposite of what all the leaders are doing, and maybe you get a lucky yellow. Maybe you get one of our NASCAR patented wheel-offs with the Gen 7, and it flips this race upside down, similarly to what happened at Richmond. Josh Berry ended up finishing second after running outside the top 10 all day long. That could happen. So I like Ricky Stenhouse. I don't hate that parlay at all, S. Brady. Charles has Sammy Smith top 3, Chase Elliott top 5, plus 569. Don't hate it, but I'm just a little worried about jumping on the Hendrick guys this early. Lucas Vick has SRX, Andretti over Boyer. Love that play. Creed over Herbst, McDowell top 10, 31 to 1. That's not bad. That is not bad. I like Sheldon Creed over Riley Herbst too. My problem with Creed matchups are always scary because of he has an ability to mess up and crash a race car. I usually preach to not bet on Sheldon Creed in head-to-head matchups because of his driving style and how aggressive he is. Kind of scares me. But if there was a time, I don't hate that parlay. Go Fast Troy has Byron over KFB. Already have 2 units on Byron. Damn. Yeah, I love that play. Love that play. Kyle Busch, one of the fade plays of the weekend. K. Gavin, you read my mind. You read my mind. You didn't even realize it. S. Brady, 21 to 1 on Caesars. A Custer top 5. Harvick over Chase. Byron over Busch. Gibbs over Bowman. Kez over Bacon. Man, that's a tough one. Not bad. Not bad. Go Fast Troy has Dinger top 10, Chandler Smith win, and a Max win. 67 to 1 on Betfred. Look, there's not many people that have been better in the Cup Series over the past 4 to 6 weeks than AJ Allmendinger. And it really hadn't mattered what track it is. AJ has been good. AJ has gotten better and has been a solid contender in the Cup Series over the past couple months. So I don't hate that play. Chandler Smith to win, I think it's going to be tough to beat Sammy Smith, John Hunter. But we talk about C. Smith, man. He continues to surprise, right? He continues to be better than what we think he'll be. So I don't hate that parlay. Like the ambition. Our luck, I'd go travel somewhere and make a Betfred account and bet that shit, and then Max would be the one to lose it. Fucking like Dan Ricciardo would win the F1 race this weekend. That would be my luck. All right, well, that's it on parlays. Everybody's had plenty of time. Weak sauce on the parlays this weekend. I'm not even going to exaggerate. Maybe that's my fault. I don't know. The parlays, there's a lot of opportunity out there, and you guys, thank you to everybody who's dropped a parlay. But holy fuck, where's the energy at? I don't know. SRX Thursday Night Thunder is about to happen. Eldor's happening right now. That's fantastic. But I'm gonna go with the Son of Smoke 4 for 4. I'm taking the Smokes 4 for 4. I'm gonna take the Hamlin SRX, Allgaier top 5. Okay, you just changed it to a Bell top 5 instead of a Larson top 5. Yeah, dude, come on, let's do the Bell top 5. That's what we're gonna do. We're going to do the Smokes 4 for 4, but not the one he sent earlier with Larson top 5. Let's take the C-Bell top 5. That's going to be the community parlay, ladies and gentlemen. Hamlin win, Allgaier top 5, Bell top 5, Verstappen win, plus 1332 over on Caesars Sportsbook. I'm going to put that on my notes to lock that one in this weekend. Oh, wait, fuck, I can't bet it because I can't get... I don't have time to get to the casino and bet on Hamlin to win this race to parlay with all this shit. I can't take it. I can't even take it. Fine. All right, look, I'm just letting you know. I'm picking it as a Dalescenter community parlay, but I'm not riding it. All right, that's what we're going to have to do. I'm going to have to make an exception. What I might do, though, is take the Allgaier top 5, the Bell top 5, and the Netflix win for Verstappen. Might do that for you. So there you have it. That's a Dalescenter community parlay. Let's get to the top plays. I'm amped up for Thursday Night Thunder. I'm going to go sit on my couch, probably grab a beer out of the fridge, a delicious natural light Pilsner, and I am going to drink and watch some motherfucking Thursday Night Thunder on ESPN. Oh, that shouldn't be there. So let's get to the Dalescenter top plays. Dalescenter top plays of the weekend. Number 5. Talked about them throughout the program. I'm going to bet on both of these over on Barstool Sportsbook, and I'm going to hope that one of them hits. And I think there's a good chance. I think there's good value here. If Stewart-Haas Racing brings what they brought last year, maybe the year before, if they bring what they have consistently brought over the past 5 to 7 years and what they've brought at the shorter, flatter racetracks in 2023, then I love this. I love the idea of putting 3/4 of a unit on both of these guys and hoping that one of them hits with a small chance that both of them hit. And that is a Ryan Preece top 5 at 8-1 and a Chase Briscoe top 5 at 9-1. Love it, love it, love it. I like both of these guys. I've talked enough about Stewart-Haas Racing and what they've done at similar tracks in 2023 and what they've done at this racetrack in particular over the past 7-8 years with Kevin Harvick and Eric Almirola and a couple other guys mixing in. You know, I like these guys this weekend. Good underdog top 5 bets. You can get plus money on both of them for a top 10 as well. And honestly, I'm probably going to bet on both of these guys to win the poll. Probably going to bet on both of these guys to win the poll as well. Small plays, but you get good value. You can get good value on both of these guys all weekend long in whatever you do. And I think my favorite idea out of any bet you can get either of these guys on is to take both of them for a top 5, and if one of them gets it, you will profit. So that is Dalescenter top play number 5. Dalescenter top play number 4. I sent the unit allocations to the Discord just because I was like, you know what? By the time we get to top plays, it might be 10 minutes before the SRX race. I want people to see. I want to make sure it's on the record for what I did bet. All on Bovada. Totally legal. Lines are back up. The unfortunate part is I just didn't anticipate the line movement that we've seen. Like, holy shit, the line movement has been crazy. Crazy since practice. I don't even know what to think anymore. But this is what I do have. And it is a top play to bet all 4 of these guys because I'm pretty confident it's going to hit. I'm pretty confident that one of these 4 guys will win this race tonight. I don't see it happening any other way. And I love my guy, Kenny Schrader, 25-1. I said in the Discord I would bet it down, I think 15, 16-1, maybe 12-1. I think 16-1. I think somebody said 22-1 is hanging around, right? Oh, yeah. All right, so the Dalescenter Community Parlay. What the fuck? We don't even have Netflix? What are we doing? You know what, Smoke? I'm a little upset with you right now. I thought we had Netflix. I thought there was Netflix this weekend. So now what do we do? Now what the fuck do we do? I don't know. Let me go back up here. There's your top play. You're reading. You can see all the SRX lines. K. Gavin has Bell top 3, Sammy top, Max win. Nope. Can't do it. There's no Netflix this weekend. Creed top 5, Brad K top 5, Scott Dixon top 5. All right, I'm just going to go with I'm going to go with Eric here. Eric, I think I picked you for a Dalescenter Community Parlay not long ago, but I'll ride this. I'll ride a Sheldon Creed top 5, a Brad K top 5, and a Scott Dixon top 5. I like it. That's going to be the Dalescenter Community Parlay. How about that? How about that? Creed top 5, Brad K top 5, and Scott Dixon top 5. So scratch everything we said. Throw your ticket in the fucking trash because you'll be waiting 9 days to be able to see your parlay hit or not hit. Let's do this one instead. Creed top 5, Brad K top 5, Scott Dixon top 5. There you go. Are you happy? Are we happy? Not really, but let's move on. Dalescenter top play number 4. Talking about SRX. One of these 4 guys will win this race. It is a personal guarantee. Lock it in. If you need to see it again, you can always come back and watch, or you can go join the Garage Guys Discord and see it in the SRX Racing chat. So there you go. You got plenty of ways to catch these bets before SRX starts, I guess in 20 minutes, 25 minutes-ish. So there you go. I hope you're happy. All right. Dalescenter top play number 3. Already talked about it a lot. This is a 2-unit bet, ladies and gentlemen. A 2-unit bet over on Caesar Sportsbook. It is Marcus Ericsson for a top 5 this weekend at Toronto. Finished 5th here last year. Has been great at street courses throughout 2023. Won the race at St. Petersburg. And Ganassi brought the heat last year at this race. And it was the first time we had raced here since 2019 because of all the COVID shit. But we did race here, and Ganassi put 3 of their cars in the top 6. I like Ganassi again this weekend. Not necessarily with Alex Palou. Maybe Scott Dixon. But for sure, a plus money bet on Marcus Ericsson for a top 5. 2-unit play here via Caesars Sportsbook. Next play. I told K. Gavin, he read my mind. He didn't even realize it. I love this bet. This is a bet I'm going to be locking in tonight, and also might be a 2-unit play. That is Ryan Preece over Chris Buescher. Like I said, Chris Buescher is a fade play this weekend, has had terrible results at New Hampshire throughout his career, and when you look at the shorter, flatter racetracks, the sample that I provided earlier in the program, and honestly throughout the program, Ryan Preece is 2-1 head-to-head against Chris Buescher at the tracks of Richmond, Phoenix, and Martinsville. So I love that. And he should be 3-0. The one track he lost to Chris Buescher head-to-head was at Martinsville when Preece led all the laps until he sped on pit road. And then he finished 13th, and Buescher finished 12th. So Preece, at similar tracks, should be 3-0 head-to-head against Chris Buescher. And now we're coming to a track where Buescher has been abysmal at, and Ryan Preece at the hometown track with what I think will be a really good race car, Stewart-Haas Racing, been the theme of Dalescenter tonight, honestly. And you're going to give me plus money on this? Lock it in, Ryan Preece, plus 105. Love this bet over on Caesars Sportsbook. Potentially another 2-unit bet. Dalescenter top play number 1. I had a feeling you guys would have seen this one coming based off what I said early in the show. That is a Sammy Smith top 5. Another 2 to 3 unit play. He's been excellent at tracks similar to New Hampshire. I don't care that it's his first time. He's in a Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. He's going to practice. He's going to qualify. He's going to be up front. And as long as his crew chief doesn't screw him over on strategy like he did at Richmond when he potentially had the car to beat, Sammy Smith's going to get a top 5. Sammy Smith's going to be good. He's going to be a contender to win this race. Take the plus 750 as well. But the main emphasis here, lock of the universe, Sammy Smith for a top 5 this weekend at the Ambetter Health 200 for the Xfinity Series. That is the Dalescenter top plays. And number 1, the number 1 bet you should enter ahead of this weekend is a Sammy Smith top 5. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for Dalescenter top plays. It's been a fun program. I appreciate RotoDoc for coming on. Garage Guy Chase once again with Chase for the Cup. I like some of the bets he was on. I feel like we're pretty aligned. We talked about that on the podcast. We thought we might be pretty aligned heading into the weekend. Early on Monday, we thought that. So you've seen the top plays. You've seen the parlays. You've seen RotoDoc's IndyCar bets, and now it is time for Thursday Night Thunder SRX. Motorsports return to ESPN. Cannot wait. Hopefully starts in about 15-20 minutes. So thank you guys so much for joining the program. Son of Smoke says Kenny Schrader still 22-1 on Caesar. You got a few more minutes to get your SRX bets in. Kenny Schrader is the underdog play of the night. 22-1 on Caesar. I got 25-1. Once again, I'd bet down probably to 16-1, maybe 12-1. But 22-1 is still available on Caesar Sportsbook, so I love that. Eric, appreciate you for the Dalescenter Community Parlay. Long-term investments. Talking about if we bet on Max Verstappen for the Netflix race. Not this weekend, but next weekend. If you appreciate the program, please drop a like here. Subscribe to YouTube, Garage Guys NASCAR Podcast, and drop a like. Tell your friends about Dalescenter, the greatest motorsports betting program in the history of the universe. We'll be back next week. Where are we at next week? Pocono? I think we're at Pocono. Is that right? Doesn't matter. You'll be here Thursday night, and I will be here Thursday night. So it's going to be a fun weekend of racing. Hopefully we all profit. I'm doing my best to ensure that we get a profit. 5 for 5 incoming on top plays. We're hitting both parlays, and we're about to enjoy some Thursday Night Thunder and start the weekend off with some real motherfucking profitability heading into an IndyCar, NASCAR weekend. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'll see you. I think Chase is doing the playback stream tonight. I might join that. To be decided. We'll see. Kind of want to go to the casino at some point, get some bets in, but be sure to tune in to playback.tv/Garage Guys to watch the SRX race with Garage Guy Chase and the Garage Guys. Maybe I'll see you there. If not, you'll have plenty more opportunities to see this beautiful face throughout the weekend. Good luck to everybody. Let's fucking profit.